New research from retirement specialist Just Group suggests that more than a third of retirees did not check their state pension forecast before they retired, despite 1.2 million households relying on the state pension as their primary source of income in retirement. The survey of more than 1,000 retired and semi-retired people aged over 55 found that 4 in 10, 38%, had not checked their forecast, rising to 40% among those who had not yet reached state pension age, 55 to 64-year-olds, and 46% for those who claimed to have retired earlier than they had expected. Among the two-thirds of retirees who checked their forecasted state pension income, nearly a fifth, 17%, said that it was, at a minimum, £250 less per year than they were expecting. On the other hand, 1 in 10, 9%, retirees said that it was at least £250 more per year than they were expecting. Commenting on the findings, Stephen Lowe, Group Communications Director at Just Group, said, "It's easy to see why people may assume they'll simply get the full state pension, but for many people this won't be the case. The last thing these households need when they come to retire is the nasty surprise that their state pension is less than they thought." The government offers a state pension forecast service, and we urge anyone approaching retirement to use it, ideally in advance of beginning to retire. It will tell you if you are likely to receive less state pension than you thought, and that will give you the opportunity to take steps to increase what you will actually receive. You can check your state pension forecast online at gov.uk here. State pension payment rates below are the current and new state pension payment rates that will come into effect on April 8, 2024. Full new state pension weekly rate, £203.85, rising to £221.20, every 4-week pay period, £815.40, rising to £884.80, over the 2024-25 financial year, £11,502. Step-by-step guide to boosting state pension payments. Here is a 5-step guide for men born after April 5, 1951, and women born after April 5, 1953, to help them decide whether it's worth buying voluntary national insurance, NI, credits to make up any missing years. Step 1, check your state pension record. There are several reasons for having a gap in your NI record, from a career break or taking time out to raise a family, to caring for elderly relations, living and working abroad, earning a low income, or being self-employed and not paying contributions, again because of a low income. The danger of gaps is that you don't accrue enough qualifying years to receive a full state pension. Britons typically need at least 10 years of NI contributions to receive anything at all, and at least 35 years to receive the maximum amount, which currently stands at £10,600 a year. It does not need to be 35 consecutive years, but you must have hit that target over the course of your working life to receive the full entitlement. If you are not at state pension age, simply check your NI contribution record by logging onto the State Pension Forecast Calculator, which you can access through your government gateway here. You will receive a state pension summary outlining what year you are entitled to receive a state pension, with a guide on the amount you will receive weekly, monthly and per year, without factoring in inflation, according to your current and projected contribution level. The summary also outlines how much you would receive if you continued to contribute, and what steps you need to take to improve the forecast if there are any shortfalls. For those who are already at state pension age, they can simply check their national insurance record for any incomplete years since 2006. Step 2. Assess whether filling any knee gaps makes sense. Your state pension summary will clearly state how many years of contributions you already have, how many you have left to contribute before you retire, and the number of years in which you did not contribute enough. These will be marked as years not full, with guidance on how much you need to pay in voluntary contributions for each year by April 5. Whether you need to pay up depends on factors such as how many more years you plan to work. Those aged 45 and over who are close to retirement age and won't have enough time to achieve 35 qualifying years to receive the full new state pension may be more inclined to top up, while someone close to retirement and in poor health might not feel it is worth it. For younger people, it may not be worth the expense of filling the gaps, as they will hit the 35-year contribution target anyway over the course of their life through work or knee credits. For them, it would be taking a real risk to buy now unless they are sure they won't make them up later, for example, because they live overseas. Which years you have missed is also key. If you have gaps between the 2006-07 and the 2016-2017 tax years, these will no longer be available to buy back after midnight on April 5, 2025, so prioritize them first. After that, the number of extra years that can be filled drops down to the last 6 tax years, which gives you more time to plug missed years between April 2017 and today. Ultimately, any potential gain from buying voluntary knee contributions will be wiped out if your health is poor and you are unlikely to live long enough to benefit, with the break-even point for buying back 1 year to make financial sense 3 years after you start claiming your state pension. There are also other complexities to consider. If you are a higher earner, it might not be worth topping up your knee record, as it could tip you into a higher tax bracket when you receive your state pension income, taking you longer to break even on voluntary top-ups. Step 3. Get bespoke advice before making a decision. Calculating whether to top up can be confusing, and ultimately there is no point paying for more years than you need because you won't get that money back. The best solution is to call the UK government's Future Pension Service on 0800 731 0175 to double-check how many years you can buy and whether voluntary contributions will add to your state pension. Those who have already reached retirement age must contact the Pension Service on 0800 731 0469. What you might find when you chat to a government pension expert is that you have more years built up than you realize, as you can also build up new years for free by acquiring tax credits. Scenarios that can potentially earn knee credits include, being a parent or guardian registered for child benefit for a child under 12, being on statutory sick pay looking for work, fostering a child or caring for a sick or disabled person, being on jury service, being on maternity, paternity or adoption pay, being wrongly imprisoned. While there are certain stipulations for each scenario, knee credits can often be automatically applied, so it is always wise to put in a manual claim if they are not on your record. Your advisor can chat through this with you and offer guidance for your unique situation and whether buying a missing year will actually give your eventual state pension a bump up. Step 4. Calculate the cost of topping up. For most people, the cost to make up a full year by April 5 is £824. 24 gaps between 2006-07 to 2019 £2,795 and 60 pence for gaps between 2020-21 £800. 80 for gaps between 2021-22. This rate of knee contribution is known as Class 3. However, people pay different rates depending on their situation. While those in full employment pay Class 1 knee contributions, which are based on earnings and automatically deducted by their employer, The self-employed pay Class 2 and 4 based on their taxable profits, and those living abroad pay Class 2. Class 2 is considerably cheaper at about £160 for 1 year than Class 3, so when you consider that one qualifying year of NI adds about £275 a year or £5.29 a week to your state pension for the rest of your life, it's easy to see the value of buying back those missed years. For someone who was living abroad during their missed year, they need to download and complete HMRC CF83 form and send it to the address on the form. To qualify for Class 2 NI contributions, you will need to prove you lived in the UK for at least 3 years in a row or paid NI contributions for at least 3 years before you left the UK, and give the names and addresses of the employers you worked for during your time overseas. Meanwhile, for those who have retired abroad, they must pay Class 3 NI rates for any missed years. Find out more about this on Gov. UK here. Get the latest record money news. Join the conversation on our Money Saving Scotland Facebook group for energy and money saving tips, the latest benefits news, consumer help and advice on coping with the cost of living crisis. Sign up to our Record Money newsletter and get the top stories sent to your inbox daily from Monday to Friday, including a special cost of living edition on a Thursday. Sign up here. You can also follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at @RecordMoney_ for regular updates throughout the day. New: get our money news alerts on your phone by joining our daily Record Money WhatsApp community. Step 5: making the payment. Once you have decided how many years to top up and which ones exactly, contact HMRC to find out the cost and how to get the 18-digit reference number you need to actually make a payment and ensure the sum is recorded on your NI record. This number can be given to you over the phone or sent by post, but allow at least 2 weeks for this to come through by mail. Once you have the 18-digit number, paying for the missed years can be done by online bank transfer, from a bank at your bank or building society, or by check to HMRC. Full details on plugging gaps in your NI record can be found on Gov. UK here. Join our daily Record Money WhatsApp community here to receive alerts on the latest money news, from benefits to shopping deals.